the batter runner is awarded one base on a clean single. Notice the word clean. Or on any kind of a fielding error or other violation out in the field. The batter is awarded second on a clean double, third on the triple, and if the ball is a home run, then it is a home run and the batter runner scores. Next, please. So your action, when the runners leave early, the flag is on the field, the ball's hit. At the completion of the play, you place the batter runner at the proper base and push everybody else back as far as you can, up to and including their time of pitch base. As I said earlier, once you place the batter runner, you can't push any runners through that closed door. So for example, if you have a runner on first, the batter runner is awarded first base because of his clean single, R1 will end up on second base. Often a point of confusion is that last sub-bullet there. If a ball is thrown out of play, for example, R1 leaves early, ground ball to the shortstop who throws the ball out of play, treat it as a single cumulative error consistent with the one base award to the batter runner and place other runners accordingly. The offense made the mistake. They don't get the benefit of the second mistake made by the defense. So let's go to the next slide and take a look at an example or two. I've got a runner on first and a runner on third. Runner on first leaves early and we get a clean single to center field. R3 scores, R1 ends up at third. Batter runner goes into second on the throw to the third baseman. Fairly common play. Flag was properly dropped. What do I have?
Or second change.
What do we have?
Bases loaded.
Run doesn't count.
Think you might want to read this.
No, you would have got a double no matter.
You might want to read
second
this.
goes
R1 leaves early, his batter runner gets a clean single to center. R3 scores and R1 ends up at third. Batter runner goes to second, one throw to third. What do you have?
Goes back to second.
This is exactly what I typed last week.
So what do you have?
I put
Bases loaded.
R1 on second, that was the value to hit. R1, even though he left early, we put him on third and we should run scores.
Okay.
Now, here's the argument that the Skippy came out.
Well, let's before we get to Skippy, let's.
No, but I'm saying this was the argument they had. Where's the penalty for him leaving early?
Correct.
So his argument was, well, from now on, I'm just going to send all my runners early. So what do you answer to that?
What do I answer to that? That's called a travesty of the game.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I answer that.
Well,
Also, Tom,
say again.
Well, listen to the proper penalty.
Go ahead, Gary.
the penalty is R3 does not score.
No,
Yeah, bases loaded.
bases loaded. You buried it.
R1 ends up at second on position, and R3 is returned. There is no run that scores. That's the penalty.
Oh, a clean single. Oh, no, my guy was a clean double.
Clean single. So where's the batter runner going to be?
First.
Yeah,
R1 goes where?
Second.
R3 goes where?
Third.
No score.
Bases loaded, right, Gary?
Absolutely.
Infield fly roll.
And Tom, to touch on your point, the gentleman's question about travesty of the game. That is a very important call that you've got to make the second time you see it. The first time with a runner on first and a ground ball in the infield that doesn't result in an out, you note that in your head. The second time it happens, I'm taking action to make sure that the manager recognizes that he is violating the rules, and I'm not going to let that continue. Probably the first time is a warning, the second time he's going home early.
Jordan.
And that's what,
Situation number two.
Oh, hold on a minute. Carl, you had a question. What'd you have, Carl?
In discussion last night at the pub, I made an understanding.
Well, you had a discussion at the pub. Was this before anything was ordered or after?
Early on.
Okay.
Early on. And I understood that the coaches are teaching these kids, if the man runs first and third, they're teaching these kids to watch the ball as it crosses the plate. They're vacating the base so they're running so they can get drop strike three and all that kind of stuff. So they're
First of all, it's an
teaching them
uncut
a
third strike, but go ahead, Carl.
They're teaching them to leave early. How do we?
Well, first of all, you have to
First is still-
identify it, right? You have to identify it. And what did we say? It's gotta be beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're leaving early. Okay, now once you identify that and once you see it, and if it's all, if the intent is there like you're saying,
I mean,
at that point then, how Gary said, once you realize that this is occurring, there is intent, you give them a warning. They continue to do it, somebody's leaving.
Yeah, I gave him one. I banged the kid out of the second last night.
On a
Okay? Jordan.
The introduction of the term travesty of the game that's been written into the rules this season or last season, it was highlighted as the little grey highlight colour bit. We love the colour. Great idea.
Shaded box.
Yeah, shaded box.
They are
Brilliant.
nice.
I mean,
Suck up.
inspirational. But to try and define that, the travesty of the game, that's the first time, I mean, my eyes lit up, you can't see, but they did. When you said that, is that what that addition was put in for with regard to 713?
Travesty of the game's been in there for a while,
It has been.
but it was just where it was relocated
Yep,
in the book.
that's right.
Travesty of the game, this is a perfect example of it. If we do have managers that are trying to take advantage, we're going to identify it. We're not going to let it happen.
Yep.
Trevor.
Runner on first. He leaves early. 415F.
Okay, now, before you give me that scenario, I want you to think about what we covered. Think about what we've covered so far. Go ahead.
Ball goes to third baseman. He throws it to second to get him out. But then he makes it to second because he left early. They throw to first and he's safe because of just a long play. Do you call the guy out at second because he left early?
You don't ever call a runner out for leaving early.
Well, that's somebody got an advantage by leaving early and got to second and no one was out.
Is a batter runner at first?
Yes.
You can't push him back any further, can you?
Well, that's my point. So there's no penalty for him leaving early in that scenario.
In that scenario, that's correct, because you can't put him anywhere else, right?
Right.
Okay, Gary.
Situation 2. Little different than we had before, but please make the call and place my runners. Where does the batter go?
First.
First.
No. The outstands.
Outstanding.
The outstands.
First and second.
First and second.
Assuming you value the hit as a single.
See, now it's who goes back.
I'm hearing all kinds of things.
B1 goes first, R1 goes back to second, run outstands.
What do we have? R1 leaves early.
Coming out.
As the batter runner hits a sharp grounder to short, which is muffed, and bounces into left field. R3 is thrown out at home. R1 advances to third, and batter runner goes to second on the throw to the plate.
First, second, in and out.
Batter's out. I mean, the runner
Second and
on
third.
third's out.
Your batter runner.
Somebody give me,
The error. There's an error of the shortstop.
Batter runner
So
would
why
have
should
made it to second no matter what. What the base runner did leaving early. So batter runner gets second. You can only push R1 back as far as the gate is open, so he stays at third, outstands.
go Gary.
I think it's first and second in and out.
Are you happy with that, Tom?
No.
I think I heard the right stuff.
Go ahead and recap it, Gary.
Okay, the out stands. Every time you can get an out, don't give it away. So R3 is thrown out, that stands. Batter runner got on base because of an error. The maximum advance to the batter runner is first base. Batter runner is placed at first. R1 is return time of pitch base, which becomes second. So you end up with first and second with an additional out. So two are out now.
Okay?
So far, so good. Situation
Just a
number
minute,
three.
Gary, I got a question. Stanley.
So the error doesn't affect the runner, that batter runner?
It did. In that case, yes, Stanley, it did, because what happened was, it was an error. So, all he's going to get is one base. He's only gonna get first,
Okay,
right?
just to get on, okay.
We gotta put him somewhere.
Value of the hit.
Yes.
Not necessarily all the.
And this is the second time you've heard that, right? The value of the hit. Situation 3.
Situation 3 is a